At this point now we'll take a look at a writing model that showcases the specific writing techniques that were presented in the writing topic for this lesson. As a reference, the full text of the writing model can be found in the document file on course sites called Writing Model. Just click on the document icon and the document will open up. You can then refer to this document as you listen to the video. If you're keeping a notebook, you can even print it out for future reference. You'll remember from the introduction to the Do It Right program that the writing models are presented for a definite and very valuable purpose. We said then that aspiring musicians learn by studying and imitating the great masters of music. Young artists learn by studying and imitating the greatest painters and sculptors of all time, and even beginning athletes learn by watching and imitating the best and most talented players in the professional rank. We learn really by watching, and then we imitate them. The same is true for us when we're learning to write. We read written models, we study and analyze them, and then we imitate their structure, technique, and the style. So, keeping all of that in mind, let's take a look now at the writing model here in Lesson 1. It all started when he hit me back. What? Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense at all, but that's what Johnny said when we were hauled into the principal's office after a scuffle on the school playground. The real truth is that it actually started about 10 minutes into our recess. There were 3 swings in the park, and I was sitting in the middle one, talking quietly with my friend Tim, who was resting on the swing next to me. I had a handful of small pebbles that I was tossing aimlessly at a small brown twig in the ground a few feet away. We talked some, but mostly we were daydreaming and enjoying the bright sunshine, the colors, the sounds, and the smells of this warm fall day. Then it happened. The piece was shattered when I first saw his large, dark shadow there on the ground in front of me. I looked up, and there stood Johnny with 3 of his friends alongside him. He was 2 grades ahead of me, and he looked like a giant standing there in his bright red shirt. He grimaced, tilted his head toward his left shoulder, squinted his eyes, glared at me with a sardonic grin. "Hey, small stuff," he said. "Are you and your little friend having fun on the baby playground swings?" At that, my friend Tim stood up and, without saying a word, quickly walked away. I sat there in my swing, alone now, and looked back down at my shoes without answering. Then I felt Johnny's index finger under my chin as he lifted my head, forced me to look at him again. We were face to face, and his nose was only about a foot away from mine when he said, "You're a skinny little punk, and I don't like you." I could actually feel his breath on my face. His 3 friends laughed, but I still didn't say anything. When I didn't respond, he grabbed both of my arms, pulled me up to a standing position, and asked in an intimidating voice, "What's the matter? You scared or something?" Without a warning, he gave me a shove, and I lost my balance and fell backward onto the playground gravel. Without even realizing what I was doing, I sprang up to my feet and then jumped forward onto Johnny. It was a blur as we both fell to the ground and rolled in the rocks and dirt. Before I knew what was happening, he was sitting on my back with my chest on the ground and my chin pressed into the gravel and dirt. He had my right arm bent behind my back and was pushing it up toward my shoulder till the pain was terrible. Then I heard him say over and over, "Have you had enough, or do you want more?" His 3 friends had us surrounded and were smiling and laughing the entire time. Suddenly, out of the blur, the hands of Mr. Bradley, a teacher, grabbed Johnny and pulled him off of me. My hands, arms, chin, and entire body ached as he led us into the principal's office. My head was down and I was staring at the gray carpet when I heard Miss Jennings, the principal, ask in a firm voice how and why this had happened. And that's when Johnny said, "It all started when he hit me back." A few days passed, and after taking time to think about it, I realized that I had not dealt with the situation very wisely at all. Johnny was a bully, and I was his victim. When he first confronted and challenged me, I probably should have looked him directly in the eye and, in my most confident and convincing voice, told him to leave me alone. If that hadn't worked, and he came and knocked me down to the ground, I shouldn't have retaliated and fought back. That's exactly what he wanted me to do. Instead, I should have simply stood up, walked away, and then talked about the incident with a teacher or my parents. It's an old saying that tells us that we live and learn every day. On that particular day, the bad news was that I had lived through and been the victim of a bullying incident. The good news is that I also learned and moved forward and upward from that painful experience. Now that we've reviewed the writing model, we'll move on to a critique of the writing model. Go ahead now and click on the link in Course Sites labeled Writing Model Critique.